This photograph establishes our standard 1948 baseline, showing Eleanor Roosevelt holding the newly drafted Universal Declaration of Human Rights. If you open a standard history textbook, this post-World War II era is almost always presented as the starting point for global human dignity and codified personal rights. That timeline carries a specific geographical bias. By drawing the starting line in the mid-20th century, the standard narrative overlooks sophisticated, binding legal frameworks developed centuries earlier in pre-colonial Africa. To find one of the most comprehensive examples, we have to wind the clock back exactly 700 years, to 1236 CE in West Africa, right at the founding of the Mali Empire. The empire's founders needed to govern fiercely diverse ethnic groups, manage vast gold and salt reserves across a wide territory, and find a way to prevent internal tribal warfare from tearing the new state apart. Their solution relied on the creation of the Charter of Kurukan Fuga. This oral legal blueprint proved that detailed protections for human life existed in Africa long before European Enlightenment thinkers began publishing their theories. This framework covers 3 categories, starting with individual dignity. Point 1 formally banned institutional enslavement. Point 2 granted women equal rights to own property. Point 3 mandated community-led care for people with disabilities. Finally, Point 4 declared education a legal right for all. These initial laws reveal a governing philosophy that evaluated systemic strength by how rigorously it protected its most vulnerable members, rather than by elite wealth. In the second category, community cohesion, the empire prevented internal fracturing. Pillar 5 established public forums and protected free speech. Point 6 outlawed tribal discrimination, mandating peaceful conflict mediation. The 7th mandate legally required citizens to provide food and shelter to arriving travelers. Legally mandating hospitality and protected speech engineered an active social safety net. Tribal friction was routinely diverted from armed conflict into structured, mediated discussions. The third group, systemic stability, managed the empire's future. Point 8 focused on ecological preservation, protecting trees and sacred groves. Point 9 guaranteed safe passage, establishing early diplomatic immunity. Finally, pulling back, the 10th mandate enforced all 10 pillars as supreme law. Integrating ecological management and diplomatic protocols provided the infrastructure for a state that could interact with neighbors while sustaining its own territory. This comparative visualization places the 1236 Charter of Kurukan Fuga directly next to the modern UN Declaration of Human Rights. When we draw lines between them, we see identical concepts, like mapping the ancient Malian protection of free assembly directly to modern UN articles. This photograph shows the delegates at the UN formulating what became the standard international milestone for human rights. Acknowledging the Malian Charter corrects a long-standing historical blind spot, proving these legal frameworks existed long before the Enlightenment. The 1236 Charter provides a specific template for building inclusive, functioning local communities today. The Charter offers highly practical mechanics, structuring communities to mediate differences rather than fighting, legally prioritizing ecological balance, and institutionalizing local hospitality so that no traveler is left exposed. The Mali Empire's success suggests that a lasting community can be built by prioritizing the same principles of equality and dignity that its founders codified 7 centuries ago.